Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into two recent situations in Kentucky schools, ones that have really stirred up questions about accountability.
Right. We know you want the key info quickly, but also thoroughly.
Exactly. So we're focusing on Rowan County and Kenton County. We're using news reports, public records, that sort of thing, to figure out what went down with their principals.
And it's interesting because they're quite different cases, different allegations,
Yeah.
but, well, they both shine a light on leadership and responsibility in schools here.
Okay, let's start with Rowan County. Principal Jordan Mann at the senior high school. This really came to a head after that awful case with Andrew Zahari.
Uh-huh. The teacher who got 22 years. Child pornography, relationship with a minor. He taught and coached there.
Right. And Mann was the principal then. John Maxey was superintendent before. Now it's Michael Rowe.
That's a hairy conviction. It sort of inevitably put the school's past actions under a microscope. So Mann's role became a focus.
Precisely. The allegation is he failed to act on warnings about Zahari. There's even a civil suit from a former student, Jane Doe.
Naming Mann the board, Maxey Zahari too.
And then this really fueled things. In late April 2025, the Courier-Journal reported on new evidence, text messages apparently, between Mann and Zahari.
Which naturally makes people ask, okay, what did the administration know and, what did they do?
And adding complexity, the district reportedly suggested in a legal filing that maybe Jane Doe's parents shared some blame.
That kind of statement often intensifies public reaction, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You saw that with the student walkouts. Late April, multiple days.
How many students were involved?
The report said over 50 at times, chanting for Mann's removal. And an online petition that got over 2,000 signatures.
That's significant community mobilization.
Yeah. A former student, Jade Kelsey, made a point I thought was interesting. She contrasted how the school preps for outside threats versus, well, perceived inaction on inside ones.
Basically saying trust was broken, student safety concerns.
Exactly. So the district first just acknowledged the peaceful protest, but then April 30th, Superintendent Rowe announced Mann was out as principal.
Out completely. Terminated.
No, that's the thing. Reassigned to other district duties, not fired. And they were pretty vague on what those duties were. Hard to get comments.
So a response, yes, but maybe not the one many protesters wanted.
Yeah.
These questions hanging.
Okay, let's pivot to Kenton County. Principal Anthony Procaccino. Different situation entirely.
Right. He was principal at Weiss Tower Elementary for, 10 years?
Yeah, a decade. Then he got appointed principal at Scott High School. That was effective July 1st, 2024.
And this incident, it happened off campus, right? But still involves judgment concerns for a school leader.
Correct. New Year's Eve 2023. So while he was still at the elementary school, allegedly gave alcohol to minors at his house.
And there's proof.
Apparently, yes. Video evidence showing him operating a beer bong with two teenagers drinking from it.
Wow, okay. Video evidence, that usually accelerates things.
It seems it did. The investigation kicked off October 2024. A mother of one of the teens gave the video to Kenton County Police.
And the teens, were they students at his new school?
They were students, yeah, 16 and 17, from Scott High and Simon Kenton High. So yes, connected to the district where he was now a high school principal.
Okay, what were the charges?
2 misdemeanor counts, unlawful transaction with a minor, 3rd degree, basically aiding underage drinking. The prosecutor did state it wasn't about sexual conduct, though.
And the district's response here?
Pretty swift. Immediate administrative leave. They put in an interim principal, Cody Wolf.
They confirmed they were cooperating with police.
Yes, confirmed cooperation, called it a personnel matter, which is standard language. Then Procaccino resigned, November 22nd, 2024.
Resigned before any formal district action beyond leave.
Seems so. The resignation was formally noted by the board in January 2025. They started advertising for a new principal. He also had a diversion hearing scheduled, mid-January 2025. We don't know the outcome.
And there was something else. A prior lawsuit.
Yeah, interesting footnote. Back in 2021, there was a lawsuit against him and others at Weiss Tower Elementary, alleged negligence regarding a student's self-harm attempts.
And that was still ongoing when he was promoted to the high school.
Apparently so, which, does raise questions about the vetting process for that promotion.
Definitely adds another layer to consider.
So when you step back and look at both Rowan and Kenton counties, very different issues, but some common ground appears.
Yeah, you see themes of principal accountability being challenged, definitely. The power of community pressure and Public scrutiny is clear in both.
And the impact on trust within the school community. Both principals lost their leadership roles eventually. Different paths, different reasons, but same outcome in that sense.
And Kentucky does have laws for this.
Yeah.
KRS 156.132 gives the state board removal power. KRS 161.120 lets the EPSB discipline for misconduct, neglect, ethics violations.
Plus mandatory reporting laws, KRS 620.030. And there was that recent House Bill 300 trying to speed up misconduct reviews.
Right, these are the state-level tools meant to ensure oversight. These cases kind of show those tools or the need for them in action.
So the bottom line for you, our listener, is these incidents show real consequences, can follow alleged leadership failures impacting student welfare in Kentucky schools.
It really highlights the weight on principles.
Yeah.
And it leaves us with a question for you to think about. How do we find the right balance in Kentucky's education system between local district control and state oversight to ensure accountability and ultimately to maintain that crucial trust and safety in our schools?